Well, hi. Long time no video, I guess. But today I'm finally continuing my bookshelf series. I think hopefully it will actually be a series. I've kind of prolonged making this video, I guess, because I call it a series, it kind of gives me some sort of pressure to make it like really good and fancy and well produced and edited and planned, and I don't know, but I just thought that a decent video is better than no video at all. So here we are. I'm just gonna go with the mood and see what happens, and yeah. So I let my patrons vote on what part of my comic or book collection I should show first, and they voted for Finnish comics. Firstly, let me just let me just make it clear. I organize my books mainly by publisher and by the book size. I have a limited amount of space here, so I do this kind of book Tetris every now and then to make everything fit. So the order might not make sense for you, but it does for me, and so that I just wanted to get that out of the way. So in this video I will show you comics by Finnish authors, and comics that are translated in Finnish, those are in the same shelf. I also have like Finnish manga that I will just say for a video about manga. And some Finnish comics are still waiting in my reading queue shelf, so I will also show those in a separate video about my reading queue. Also, a quick thing to mention: for the longest time Finnish comics have had this identity crisis, I think, or in my opinion. Like, is it gonna be taken seriously? Like, there is fear that people think it's for children, or think it's like cheap humor. The most popular comics in Finland are like Donald Duck magazines, and they have a long history. I also used to read them when I was a kid, and it's a big part of growing up and learning to read for Finnish children, I think. Maybe not that much today, but definitely in the 90s and 80s. And that's probably the main brand when it comes to comics in Finland. People think of those Donald Duck comics first when you mention comics. And so that means that a lot of Finnish comic artists either make comic strips for newspapers. Those are always popular and they sell well, more or less. And so either strip comics, or they're really artistic, so that they are taken seriously. And I think that means that there aren't really a lot of long format comics that are just entertainment. There have been a little bit of a shift lately with new generation of comic artists, and we see the influence of manga and webcomics, I think, but it's still the type of comics that I enjoy. The selection in the Finnish comic scene is pretty thin, and that's why my collection of Finnish comics isn't really that big either. But let's go ahead and see my collection of Finnish comics. And speaking of book Tetris, I have my DNA Joe manga over here because, yeah. So let's just take these out for a second. I also have some Finnish manga, Finnish translated manga here as well. So, but let's save that for the manga video. And should we start here? Maybe. So, firstly, I have Lassi ja Leevi, or Calvin and Hobbes, I guess that's in English. So this is Juhlakirja 5, also collection by Bill Watterson, and I got this ages ago. I took part in like a comic competition when I was still in high school. The competition was about libraries, so I made an ode to my library, and I don't know what place I got, but I won this this book and also one other comic album. I think it was this one. I don't know if I should say this. I'm not a big fan of Calvin and Hobbes. They're great, but I'm not. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Next, I have Moomin Classics. This is the first album of Moomin Classics. Also, not a big fan of Moomin comics, but I have this for some reason. I think there's bookmark as well. Coupon for Anttila. And then I also have 4 albums of Black Sad. So these are translated. I really like the art in Black Sad, but if you were to ask me what's the plot of these comics, I couldn't tell you. Just know the main character is kind of like a secret detective or private detective. I used to like these books a lot, but later it's the difference between male and female characters in these comics, how they are depicted, and yeah, that that bothers me a lot, so I don't really grab these that much anymore. Next we have Musta Hevonen by Samson. So this is by a Finnish creator, Samson, and these are hilarious. The humor is very punny and breaking the fourth wall, and they're really simple, but something with this just makes me laugh. I have 3 volumes. This last one, Vuokrakolmio Permudalla. This is a bit different. They changed the publisher. It actually didn't make me laugh as much as the previous volumes, so I don't know what happened, but yeah, I still have this. Next we have Vain paha unta by Aino and Ville Tietäväinen. So it's Only a Bad Dream, and it's by a daughter and a father. And these are comics made by the father, Ville, of the nightmares or dreams that his daughter told him about. I really like this one. This is one of my favorites. And these are also numbered, and they have the age of the daughter. That's a really difficult word to say. The age of Aino, when she had the dream. The way Aino tells about these dreams and her comments, and it's really, really cute. So this is, yeah, one of my favorites. And then I have Maisa and Kaarina Vaaran vyöhykkeellä. This is really classic strip comics. I think they were published in women's magazine. I haven't really read these either, not a big fan, but yeah, as I mentioned, I got this as a prize from a contest, so that's why I still have this. Then I have some Nemi comics. These are also pretty old, from like 2004. These are by Norwegian artist. I don't know why the name is so difficult to find, but I think the name is Lisa Myhre. I used to really love Nemi when I was a teenager. So I have a couple of these. They have published, I think, a lot of Nemi actually in Finland as well. But yeah, at some point I just grew tired of it. I still have these. And next we have 8 volumes of Fingerpori. This is a really popular comic or newspaper strip comic in Finland. They are hilarious. They also are very funny, and there's some really twisted humor in them. They're by Pertti Jarla, and he's a comic genius. There are more than 8 volumes of these books, but at some point I stopped collecting them because they're heavy, like hardcover albums. I don't know. I think 8 volumes is a good amount of of these comics. And then we have Nanna by Tuuli Hypen. So these are also strip comics. There's this student who gets a city fox as a roommate, and yeah, I don't know what else to say. These were pretty funny, but I don't know. They have also published, I think 2 or 3 volumes, maybe more, of this, but I think this first one was enough for me. Next, we have the Perry Bible Fellowship, which I really enjoyed years and years ago as a webcomic. It's really dark humor. I think they've made like a re-appearance, what do you call it, lately online. So these are the Finnish translations of some of them. And then we have Fuck It. These as well are strip comics by Joonas Rintakanto. I really struggled at first to like these comics because they're really ugly. I don't like the art style, but the more I read of these, the comics are just really funny and really hit home sometimes, and the art fits really well with the jokes. So I've become to like these comics. And this album was pretty cheap, so I just got it. Next we have a bit smaller book, Mourukatit by J.J. Naas. I don't know how to translate Mourukatit, but it's about his cats. And these are really cute, and I really like the art style. It's a really super cute, and it's a pretty simple. Everyone who has cats or has been around cats enough knows the struggles, and well, maybe it's not just all struggle with cats, but there definitely are some desperate moments, but also cute moments. And these cats are adorable. Next, we have a couple of albums by Emmi Nieminen. We have Vagina Dentata. I haven't read this in a while, so I'm not really sure what it was about, but I think the name tells you a lot. It has some not safe for work stuff, so yeah, let's move on. The next comic is also by Emmi. This is Vahinkoraja, Damage Limit. I'm grateful for the translation here. And this one also has English translation on the pages, so that's nice. I really like Emmi's art style and how it's evolved. This one is kind of like struggles with having a big body and trying to be vulnerable with other people. It's an interesting comic, and lovely art. Then we have Sokerihullu by Hanna Koljonen. So Sokerihullu, it's like sugar crazy. So it's like an autobiographical story about Hanna's struggle with sugar and addiction with sugar. I really felt a connection with her and with this comic, so I really like this one. I'm not the biggest fan of the art style, but the story is good. So yeah, I really like this one. Next we have Maalarisiskot by Reetta Niemensivu. This I mentioned pretty recently on a vlog. So this tells the story of Finnish female painters Helene Schöfbeck, Helena Westermark, Maria Wijk, and Ada Thilén in late 1800s. Pretty simple art style, but I like it. It's easy to read, and this was pretty fast to read as well. So, and it's nice to read about Finnish women artists and their struggles in previous decades and centuries. And then we have Stand Still, Stay Silent by Minna Sundberg. These are in English, but Minna is Finnish, so they are here. I think a lot of you already know Stand Still, Stay Silent, but if you don't, it's a webcomic. It takes place in should I say near future, post-apocalyptic zombie kind of invasion. I don't know. And it takes place in the Nordic countries. So that's nice and interesting. Yeah, they have already published 3 books and I have them all. But it's still continuing online. So then we have Voro. I've also mentioned this on a vlog before. These are by Janne Kukkonen. I have the first and second volume, and the third volume is coming, I don't know, soon-ish. I think he's almost done with drawing the comic. So waiting for it. I was really excited about this comic because this is something that I rarely see in Finnish comic scene. I really like Janne's art style. So it's a long format, or should I say graphic novel. I don't really like that term. But yeah, long format, long story about a girl named Lilia who is a thief. And yeah, this is a fantasy story with magic and, well, thieving. This comic has also been translated to multiple languages, which is really nice. I wish all the success for this comic. Then I have a bunch of comics by my favorite Finnish comic author, J.P. Ahonen. And yeah, let's start here. This is, what is it? Ester Berbergin tarinoita, which is like a collection of stories and comics by J.P. and his friends. So this is kind of a mixed bag. Not my favorite, to be honest, but I have it. And then we have Perkeros. This was a graphic novel. When did this come out? Not too long ago. Oh, 2013. That's actually a long time ago. So this is by J.P. Ahonen and K.P. Alare. And it's it's a story about this band. They have a bear as a drummer, and they try to become like a proper, well-known band, and they are looking for a vocalist, and then they get mixed up in some cult shit, and yeah, it's funny and it's really beautiful. I really like J.P.'s art style, and he's just a funny guy, so you can't really go wrong with anything he does. This comic has also been translated, at least in English. It's Sing No Evil in English, but there are some other languages as well, but I can't remember. Anyway, then we have Beelzebubs. You are probably familiar with this as well. This is, well, it started as a webcomic, and now it's an actual band, and there's gonna be an animated series, and whatever else. It's a story about a father who has a black metal band, and yeah, there are lots of great characters, lots of great funny shit happening. Whatever you can think of when you think of black metal, Satanism, Satan worship, and family business. If you don't have the book, this has already also been translated in many languages, but you can also find it online when you just search Beelzebubs. Then I have a huge collection of Villimpi Pohjola. These are comic strips that J.P. made for a newspaper. They tell a story of a group of university students. Yeah, it's just a lot of fun. I kicked the camera stand, sorry. So saying these are probably my favorite of Finnish comics of all time. They're just a lot of fun. I should actually reread them at some point. And then I also have Puskaradio by J.P., which is a collection of political comic strips. These were published in a journalist magazine or something. Yes, in 2009 and until 2012. Yeah, a lot of fun strips here as well, about politics and other stuff in animal form. Yeah, that's that. And then I have the first volume of Mummo, which is our grandma. in English. This is by Anni Nykänen. She has also drawn a lot of Mummo albums, but I only have the first one. And these are adorable as well. These are comic strips, well, about the grandma. She is very spicy and she does a lot of interesting things. Really adorable. No wonder these are really popular in Finland as well. And then we're in the final stretch. So yeah, these are manga translated in Finnish. Talk about them later. Then I have also a couple of Hellboy albums in Finnish. Yeah, I don't know what to say about this really. I really like Mike Mignola's art style. It's amazing. So this was the first one, and there's also a second volume, but it's really, really difficult to find, I think. By chance I found this at the flea market, so yeah, I have this as well. So this is Darkness Calls in English, 1 to 6 by Dark Horse Comics, and this is in full color, so that's really nice. Very inspiring, these comics. And then for some reason I have Luke Pearson, Hilda and the Troll. This is in English, so I don't know why I have this here. Maybe because I ran out of space. Maybe I should put this elsewhere. Yeah, I'll talk about that later. So yeah, that's my collection of Finnish comics. As I said, not too big. As I mentioned, I have some here in the reading pile, a reading queue pile, so we'll mention them in a later video. So yeah, this is all for this video. Hopefully it's not too long. Let me know what you think. If you have any like suggestions for next videos, ideas, anything, let me know in the comments. And yeah, if you want to know something more about them, these comics that I mentioned, maybe I could probably talk more in a vlog or something. I guess that's all. Thanks for watching, and